How we doing, everyone? So new week, new all-time high for Bitcoin. This is becoming quite a theme right now, and I am all for it. Now, last week I did a couple of videos on the market saying that I wasn't expecting a major correction when a lot of people were claiming it, saying that I am looking for further upside, and here we are, a new Bitcoin all-time high. Let's do a market review today through Bitcoin, maybe through the alt market. Let's go. First of all, there we have it, the all-time high just here, guys. And let's just see what we came in on. This is OKX exchange. Different exchanges might have slightly different prices, but we're looking at 106.5, 106.6, depending. What another run for Bitcoin. This is a multitude of things. This had a lot to do with Michael Saylor was buying even more Bitcoin. I mean, when does he not keep buying Bitcoin? We've got Donald Trump effectively talking about a Bitcoin reserve for the US, and Russia and Japan talking crypto reserves for the US. And 1 minute, I've got some news articles to bring up. Did a little cheeky update on my Twitter the other day regarding this. But I really do think a lot of our expectations on Bitcoins, and I'm always trying to be reserved on Bitcoin, but I think a lot of us are going to get blown out the water. Currently, it's going a lot faster than we ever thought, but is it going to go much bigger than we've ever thought? This is what we're all really wanting to know. So we got the Russia's bid for the Bitcoin reserve, and then you've got the US as well, Trump confirming a reserve plans, 15 trillion price, boom. Well, let's see. That is a lot of money and a lot of market cap just for Bitcoin. So I don't want to read too much into them actual numbers, just the point that it's in the news about reserves and also in Japan as well. This is it's serious, guys, especially for Bitcoin. So let's just run through its chart and let's get to it. Last week, obviously, a bit of a scare in the market, and that's where I brought the video out to try and calm some nerves. And do you know what? I'm just going to keep things basic here. There was a nice block that we fell into, lots of liquidity being grabbed, and we've been through this before. Swing failure patterns to the low just there. We could potentially put an illustration of how a swing failure pattern might look. So that was a swing failure pattern, then a reversal afterwards. And now what I want to basically do is I'm going to just be taking this from a basic standpoint, creating our block, and then just pulling it across, okay? So one of the things we're going to be looking at here is, can Bitcoin hold this area? This area is in and around 104,000 down into the 102.5 thousand levels. That does go quite nicely into that 4-hour EMA here, which is a 21 currently. And with quite a lot of suggestion here that Bitcoin is just doing a simple pullback, retest, potentially looking for that next move up. Now, please remember, none of this is financial advice. Everything that I'm going through is things that we're seeing in the market, physically seeing. A lot of trading is very opinionated anyway, but let's try and look at things from sensible ways. Now, yeah, we could be a swing failure pattern to the top here and we come back down. I'm just not thinking that just yet. We're in bullish market conditions. The pricing is bull. The news is bullish, the fundamentals are bullish, and the ETFs inflows at the moment, guys, how much money is being bought into Bitcoin from ETFs is just ridiculous right now still. So if we look at the longer picture on Bitcoin, we'll just go and take it into the 1-day time frame. You can see it's clear skies right now, and there is nothing effectively stopping it. We can't even see them previous highs because it is so far gone. And that is the other problem. And with the alt market, what I really, really hope a lot of people are not doing is fading the alt market, because the alt market is still effectively here. It still needs to do that final breakout from highs. But if you just keep fading, eventually the price is going to move without you, and it can move really, really quickly. Bitcoin is the huge point prover here, and it is bullish. There's going to be a load of people trying to draw bearish patterns. We had that last week, people trying to draw rising wedges and calling the big crash on Bitcoin. But bull market conditions, bearish outlooks don't normally have as much power. Whereas in a bear market, a bearish look, it does have a lot more power. So then we've got total two. So total two is altcoins excluding Bitcoin, still slacking behind. And a big portion of the reason for that is the dominance of Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin broke out yesterday, it took a lot of the alt market down. with it, believe it or not. So the dominance of Bitcoin spiked and increased. What we want to be seeing is not a break above this level. So we don't really want to be seeing above 57, 58. We really want dominance to stay below there to give altcoins another go at the pie, really. So fingers crossed, because what's going to happen here, guys, Bitcoin is at new all-time highs. New all-time highs, but its dominance levels are lower than when it hit the all-time high previously last week and the week before. So every all-time high that we're printing, the dominance is slightly lower, which is signaling that the alt market is really becoming primed for a big move. Let's hope it's soon. Bit of a Christmas pump. So total two, excluding Bitcoin, there's a few little tiny ways we could be looking at this here. Now, we have potentially got quite a bit of a sloping inverse head and shoulders. I've mentioned this a few times, and we're just waiting now. It's a waiting game. We could potentially draw a couple of trends if we wanted. I'll probably go with that one, to be fair. So I'll probably go from there, and we're waiting for this breakout of trend. Currently, again, let's just keep things simple. At this moment in time, there has been a lot of price action in this area. And then there was a big sell-off in that area, and then there's now been a reclaim. So a little bit similar to Bitcoin currently. We are wanting the alt market to mirror Bitcoin's behavior. So hopefully holding into that block just here. Okay, so that's what we want there. And that's what we're going to want to see from the alt market as well. Alt market going up and then the Bitcoin dominance starting to go down is an extremely good thing if you are a bull in the altcoin market. So we're then going to move over to others. So others is a chart that doesn't normally get covered that much. Now, others is effectively all of the altcoins excluding the top 10, as you can see just here. So that's taking out all the current top 10. So XRPs, Solanas, Doge, and everything else, and Ethereum and the top 10. We're just looking at this in a basic way, right? So this is a very simplistic view of how an Elliott wave could work. There's waves within waves, there's different complications within Elliott waves, and it is called Elliott wave theory for a reason. And you'll notice a lot of things when you are looking through the market, guys, is normally termed with the word theory, because it is theories in the end. But if you've got a million traders or a billion traders at any one time looking at things in the exact same way, usually you get the outcome that the theory was showing. In the previous run, guys, 2020, we went through a tech, and it was textbook. You had an impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse. Usually we go through 5 waves in Elliott, and then we have corrections, like big corrections after that. So bear market. So there we had the ABC type of correction. And I would confirm the ABCs because we have gone off into a bull run since, especially on Bitcoin. But as you can see, the opportunity here is really with the alt market right now. Bitcoin, again, is effectively here in its own right against where altcoins are at right now. So let's just say, for example, we've got some smart investors coming in from, let's say, gold or silver or stocks or Forex or anything like that, right? They might be looking at the market in a similar way now going, oh, I was a bit late to Bitcoin, or I'm very late to Bitcoin. But we can factually see that the upside in the altcoin market has way more upside to go. So is that where the smart money or the late smart money or the late big money are going to start targeting? I would have thought so. I am targeting the alt market, and that's what I would do. So we've gone through a big impulse. We've then gone through that big correction, and it was pretty big, guys. I mean, there was a lot of bear market talk at that point. So that says to me, we are very, very much going through that theory, because the theory is not easy, okay? Everything looks easy on textbooks. We get that. And it looks easy when you draw it out like this. The psychological sides of what happens, like, are you going to sell in box 3 or anywhere around there? Are you going to buy back on 4? And then are you going to try and exit most of your positions when it really does look like we have gone through that 5th type of wave, because that's kind of where you want to be exiting. So we're not saying that it's definitely in this pricing target, but I wouldn't mind a nice 2 to maybe 3 trillion, 2.5 trillion dollar market cap on all the other market, excluding Bitcoin. It would be lovely. So then what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to do one last chart, but we're going to go further out on this. So this is Bitcoin dominance once again. That's not what we want. But let's just go into them higher time frames. And here is a new type of visual. So you've seen these visuals before, but what I've kind of put together here is something that we're hoping for. So there was the top of the 2021 bull run. That was the top of the dominance, which is what triggers the bull run. What we are hoping for here is a similar outlook. So now the top comes in. There has been a retest on this trend. It is vital that we get back below this trend. And then are we going to start putting in some form of mega drop on Bitcoin dominance and actually start breaking below 50%? Remember, below 50% really does equal fireworks for the altcoin market. So that's, guys, was probably it from me. Bitcoin hitting all-time highs. I still think it looks very strong. Yes, there's a lot of talk about it's manipulated. It's not necessarily manipulated. It's just there is more buyers and sellers still currently, and that's kind of how markets go up. The alt market is slacking behind and we want it to catch up. And it really does look like we're heading into them early signs of money rotation, and we could start catching up on the alt market soon, maybe close or maybe into the new year. What I would say, guys, is be very, very patient, be sensible with these markets, sensibly DCA, sensibly get yourself into positions, but it does look like that money shift could be on the way soon. So there we are. A healthy looking Bitcoin, good looking alt market. Fingers crossed we all keep making a load of money. And that's it from me. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button. The links are below as well. And I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.